Hi guys, I'm Mindy, 31 years old, from America. Today I will tell you my lesbian love story, hoping to inspire those out there who are in the same situation but lack faith in love. I realized that I only had feelings for people of the same sex quite early in my life, and I never felt guilty about it. I was sent by my parents to a Catholic school near my home, and that's where I met Lucy. We have a lot in common, and we talked non-stop right from the first meeting. We both thought we were just super close friends, and nothing more than that. Lucy and I did almost everything together. We sat next to each other in the classroom, ate lunch together, and waited for each other's parents to pick up at the school gate. For me, Lucy is the person who understood me the best, hence I felt the most comfortable being with. My plans, no matter what they are, always contain Lucy, and vice versa. It was hard for both of us to imagine a life that lacks the other half as adults. But neither Lucy nor I knew what to call that sentimentality. Sometimes we just said, "Oh hey, if only you were a guy, you would be the perfect boyfriend." But for 3 years as friends in our Catholic school, we were so shy to say the 3 words, "I love you." To outsiders, that statement might only show the affection between 2 close friends, but to us, it made our cheeks flush and our heart beat faster. But sad things happened when we were 18 years old. That afternoon, my parents came to pick me up early for my grandfather's birthday, so I couldn't wait with Lucy until her parents came to pick her up. Little did I know that it was the last time I saw my dear friend smile. Just a few minutes after my parents drove away, a group of male thugs near our school walked past. Seeing Lucy standing alone, they came closer to tease her. According to witnesses, they pulled Lucy's braids, called her names, and in the end, when Lucy didn't react as they intended, they snatched her bag and ran across the street. Lucy panicked and immediately chased after them, but the poor girl did not notice a car coming at quite a fast speed, so she was hit directly. My little Lucy died at the hospital with a serious brain injury, and I didn't get the news until midnight that night, when Lucy had drawn her last breath. For a year since that fateful day, I was no longer myself. From a cheerful girl, I gradually became taciturn and quieter. I passed college and moved to a city away from home to avoid people, and especially to run away from memories that Lucy and I had had in this small town where we grew up from. One night, while I was sagging in my cramped room, I unconsciously flipped through the Plenty of Fish profiles for anyone who could help me forget the emptiness I felt in my heart. It had been a difficult year for me, with bad first-year academic results and an extremely volatile mentality. The loss of the girlfriend I loved most took away the person everyone knew about me. At that moment of indeterminate search, a new message was sent to my account. "You're so beautiful." Simply put, those 3 short words were sent from a mysterious beauty with lilac hair and lots of earrings. Oh, those eyes, that smile. How could they look so much like Lucy? I had been staring at that picture for longer than I should while figuring out how to reply to such a general message. Resisting the urge to reply immediately, I clicked through to read her entire profile. Her name is Niaz, the same age as me, and that's all. That's really strange, I thought. But after reading Niaz's description of self in the dating app, I realized with surprise that we were almost identical. I cannot remember exactly what I answered, but it was successful. We connected and talked through that night. I have made no mention of Lucy and the terrifying resemblance of Niaz and Lucy, perhaps because I have yet to believe in this Lord's arrangement. For the first time in such a long time, I was really excited to talk to another person. She's funny, pretty, and seemed to be very considerate of me too. The conversation was so natural that I didn't even consider asking where she came from. "I can't believe you live that far," Niaz texted me. Wait, what? What does she mean? I thought. This application usually only connects users in the same locality, right? What do you mean? Where are you from? I texted back, and told myself she definitely couldn't be that far. But no. It turned out that Niaz lived on the opposite side of the country. But I was just happy. I thought that such a distance was okay. My real goal, shamefully, is just to grab any chance to see Lucy again. Just a figure similar to her would be more than enough. After that, we talked almost every day. We texted long messages about everything from work to home and life in general. We both tried to avoid the topic of meeting up because we didn't want any pressure. But we both felt that the other person was also extremely excited to meet them. It had been about 4 or 5 weeks since we first started talking when one day, Niaz announced that she was flying to Los Angeles to meet her relatives. She would be there for about 3 weeks and asked if I wanted to drive there to see her. I didn't have too much money in savings, so I couldn't afford to buy a plane ticket. It takes many hours to drive from my place to Los Angeles. My biggest worry was, what if Niaz didn't look like what I had imagined her in the app? What if she's not the Lucy in my mind? However, I did not hesitate to say yes. Either way, I had to know if the feelings I had were real, or I was still just in love with a ghost that only existed in my imagination. And it all happened like that. The fate that brought us together coincided with Valentine's Day, February 14th. With so many questions and uncertainties, I just knew that there was one thing I knew for sure. That was, I couldn't wait to meet the mysterious girl with lilac hair and piercings. I got in the car and started my journey to Los Angeles. Travel times were so much longer than I expected due to severe traffic congestion. Oh, how impatient I was. I reviewed my decision hundreds of times in the car. Finally, I arrived. Niaz came to the door to welcome me. God, she looked even more like Lucy than on the dating app. There was an awkward moment between the two of us before I followed her inside, feeling confused and claustrophobic after all day in the car. But I'd arrived, and I had to be responsible for my decision. I stayed in Los Angeles all weekend, and the mysterious girl with lilac hair and piercings was the coolest person I ever met. We hardly slept all weekend. We drank, listened to music, and talked about anything and everything. When I decided to tell Niaz about Lucy and confess my decision when I went to see her, I cried. It was one of the few times I truly cried since Lucy died. Niaz didn't judge, just quietly hugged me in her arms and said that she valued me and my feelings. My heart was more broken than I imagined when I left the apartment we shared that weekend. I sprayed my perfume on Niaz's shirt, hoping she will remember me a little longer. Getting back to where we were, we talked on the phone for hours a day. People say that lesbians tend to move fast in relationships, and maybe that's true. But for us, we know what we have is serious. Just like that, we were apart for 6 months in a row and met at a destination for 1 to 2 weeks when we could be off work and school. We explored the world and cherished every moment together more than other lovers, and it has been going on for 12 years. Niaz proposed to me on a bright, starry night in Paris during our European tour a few years ago. Of course I agreed. The moment I said yes, the person I vowed to share my whole life with was Niaz, not Lucy. But I still thank that dear girl of mine to this day for everything. And that's our freaking cute lesbian love story. I know that every lesbian love story is beautiful, but ours is my favorite. Hope you guys enjoy this story and can find the motivation from it to believe in love more every day, no matter who you're in love with.